Even after closure, Detroit firefighters were still plagued by the property. In May 1961, despite the ongoing demolition process at the plant, a 5-alarm fire ripped through, likely from the spark of a torch, injuring multiple firefighters. It's not hard to imagine families in their homes on Crossley and Gould Streets fleeing to safety as the manufacturing facility that many of them used to work at went up in flames despite already losing their jobs there. Around this time, the city of Detroit took ownership of the property, which was heavily polluted from decades of ironwork. In 1969, the Detroit Free Press did a piece on the expanding industrial presence in Delray, focusing on the residents of the Hungarian enclave and their opposition to the City Planning Commission's ideas for their neighborhood. Residents wanted to see an expansion of public services in the neighborhood, but the city had decided to allow more dirty industry to be built, polluting the land, air, and waterways that Delray citizens had called home for decades. The article also reported low crime in Delray and roughly 13,000 people living there. Later, the city walled off the property with shipping container shells and used it as storage, eventually becoming a place for whoever had a truck big enough to make it through to dump their trash. For decades, the property sat there unused. Some wild grasses, burrs, and cattails have sprung up over the decades. In the wet season, there are pools of water that might take a decade off your life if you drank from them. In the distance, Sug Island smokestacks and safety light remind you of the pollution entering your lungs with each breath. The new bridge to Canada rises from the foliage, an odd reminder of the investment occurring in, but not for, the neighborhood. Typically, a few dumped cars and boats reside on the property. The cars are most likely stolen from elsewhere and filleted like fish for their valuables, and it's cheaper to dump a boat than to dispose of it properly. To the city's credit, they have removed a few of the cars here, but a new one will pop up every few months. Delray's population has been decimated by a lack of city investment and the new bridge to Canada, despite the city offering residents the option to swap their homes in the neighborhood for one outside of Delray, or grants for home improvement. Still, dozens of families call Delray and Garvin Works home. The pollution that emanates from here affects all of southwest Detroit and the entire region. Usually, I have something positive to say about historic buildings and sites in Detroit, no matter how bad they've gotten. I've photographed this location dozens of times over the years and always feel melancholy in the pit of my stomach afterward. In Detroit, it's tax base over taxpayer, and it always has been. Delray is a better indication of that than anywhere else I've ever been. Seriously, this one just feels wrong.